Hello, I'm Tiffany VanBoxtel, and I'm a vocal coach. I help singers sing like paid professionals in 1 year without boring or pointless vocal warm-ups. And today we're going to go through how to change your negative thoughts about your singing. So if you are like most singers, maybe you just have a really frustrating practice session, or maybe you make some sounds like you sing a high note and you don't like how it sounds and you think, oh, this sounds awful, I'm never going to become a great singer. What do I even do? How do I improve? I think I've tried everything, and your thoughts, they spiral. Or you know that it doesn't sound quite the way that you want it to, but you're not sure exactly what to do or change in order for it to improve. This video is for you. So first of all, there's nothing wrong with you. Your brain is programmed to worry. So by doing this, your brain is doing exactly what it was supposed to do in the first place. This is the reason why our ancestors are alive. You know, back in the day when people were running from the lions and the tigers and the bears, well, now we shouldn't have to worry about running from lions and tigers and bears, but our brain does try to keep us safe. And one of the ways that it does this is by looking out for things or worrying for us. So this is probably one of the biggest reasons why you have a lot of negative thoughts about your singing. And this is totally normal. So let's go through a scenario. Okay, this is probably how most of your practice sessions look like. Let's say you're singing and you sing a high note and you think, it didn't come out the way that you wanted it to. And you think, oh, that sounds awful. I'm never going to be a great singer, blah, 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 blah. And the result is that you get super frustrated, or you keep trying again until your voice hurts, or your voice sounds even worse. Or you just get frustrated, give up, walk away, and you haven't actually sat down to practice ever since because you're not quite sure what to do. Or maybe, even worse, if this continues and goes on, maybe you decide, like, I don't know if the singing thing is for me. Maybe I should just give up. And so I hope that's not where you're at since you're watching this video. So here we go, how to change your negative thoughts. So let's take the same exact situation. The situation does not change. You sing a high note and you don't like how it sounded. We are going to change that negative thought. So here's your thought. Let's say, oh, that sounded awful. I'm never going to be a great singer. Let's change that thought into a fact, because that sounded awful is your opinion. That high note did not come out the way that I wanted it to is more of a fact. No one is going to argue with that. You're not going to argue with that. That is a fact. So first of all, we want to turn the negative thought into a fact. And then we want to ask a question about that fact. Because when we start to think more objectively, like a scientist, you're going to be able to take yourself out of that negative thought spiral, stop, and provide yourself with solutions that are actually going to work and are actually going to get you better results. So, why didn't that note come out the way that I wanted it to? What do I know about singing high notes? Now, here is where it might draw on a little bit of experience. For example, if you work with me or if you're in my program, the Star Singer Green Room, one of the things that I talk about when it comes to high notes is that the only two reasons why your high notes don't come out the way that you want them to is because you don't have enough space or airflow. Now, that's a topic for another time, but let's talk about how we can use this in order to change our negative thoughts. So let's say that you remember, you're like, okay, I remember that Tiffany said I need to have more space and more airflow. And I remember working on this with her in the program, the Star Singer Green Room, right? I remember doing that voice lesson. Okay, I'm not quite sure which one is going to work for me best in this scenario, but let's try a couple of things. So let's try the singing the high note again, and I'm going to focus on singing with more airflow. Okay? So you do that. You actually make a change instead of singing it over and over and over again the same way and getting frustrated. You actually are using this process to make a change. All right? So you try it with more airflow and you think, okay, that was pretty good. Now I'm going to try it and think more space and really put that application into this as I approach this high note. So you sing it with more space and you realize that's it. That works for you. So if thinking that works for you, if thinking about more space as you approach that high note works for you, let's keep it. And then the idea is to keep thinking that thought, keep building the muscle memory, keep building the confidence, and keep feeling amazing about your singing. So you see how we did that process? We turned the negative thought into a fact. We asked a question, and then we drew on solutions. Now, it can be a little difficult if you don't have any experience to draw off of. So this process is the most useful for singers who are working through a course, a program, or have some one-on-one guidance because you are going to have a little bit of experience to draw off of. If you have no idea what to do, it might get even a little bit more frustrating. So that's just one thing to keep in mind. But if you want to go more in depth over how to take all of these crazy thoughts that you have that are negative and go from feeling, oh my gosh, am I going to sing in tune? Oh my gosh, I'm worried about how that high note is going to sound. Are they going to like me? What do I think it sounds like? Why aren't they paying attention? Like when you're in a performance, you hear all of these thoughts going through your brain at a bajillion miles a minute. And I want to show you how you can take all of those thoughts and go from like crazy worried brain to calm and centered and energized and ready to connect with your audience. And we're going to go more in depth into that inside of my free training over at starsinger.co/singnow. The link is going to be in the comments, and that full training is called How to Sing Like a Paid Professional in 1 Year Without Boring or Pointless Vocal Warm-Ups. And a lot of that has to do with changing these negative thoughts about your singing. And a lot of changing your negative thoughts about your singing comes from actually hearing improvement in your singing, right? So head over and check out that free training over at starsinger.co/singnow. Go ahead and hit that subscribe button so that you can catch more awesome videos about singing so that you can feel like the comfortable, confident, paid professional that you want to be.